Last week, we stepped inside the infamous Bobby Mackey's Music World, a place many believe is one of the most haunted locations in America. We explored the dark history beneath the building, from the slaughterhouse that once stood there, to the mysterious well that's been called a gateway to something far more sinister. We talked about the legends of Pearl Bryan, the rituals rumored to have taken place on the property, and the chilling stories that have followed the land for generations. But as unsettling as that story was, it wasn't the end, because there are still eyewitness accounts, investigations, and experiences we haven't covered. Stories that suggest whatever has haunted this place may never have left. So turn the lights down and let's step back into Bobby Mackey's music world.
Hello, friends and family. Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Bazaar. I'm Jessica.
I'm Montana.
And if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. We've been waiting for you.
We've been waiting.
On our podcast, we dive into the bizarre, the spooky, and the unexplained. From true crime and paranormal encounters to strange mysteries, we explore the stories that don't quite fit anywhere else. Each week, one of us takes a deep dive into the research while the other reacts in real time. So if you're into weird shit and chill vibes, you're in the right place. New episodes every Sunday. Be sure to follow and subscribe.
Dun, dun, dun.
For all the YouTube watchers out there, you've probably noticed the past couple episodes I've been a little glitchy on the screen. Apologies for that. I will be having a new camera coming soon, but for now I'm having to wire my phone to my new computer, so the connection's not the best. So that's why I'm looking a little bit like glitched out and maybe like I'm not real, but I promise you that I am. I am real. I'm not AI. Because if I was AI, they'd do a lot better than this bullshit. But anyway.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
So yeah, if there's a little bit of a delay or if I'm a little glitched or if I just turn into a black screen, that's why.
Welcome to Weekly Bazaar.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Get used to it.
Oh, I forgot to mention this too because I never did. But a few episodes ago, when you talked about what you would do if someone like cornered you and Kira and you would take her leash off and like lasso the intruder.
Yeah.
I forgot to say for Patreon that we made a song for it called Kira's Leash. So if you're on Patreon, go check out the song. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's like Kira and Jessica. It's fantastic. That was my update.
It's a good one.
I forgot to mention it. I don't know why. I was like, why did I mention this before? I forgot. So here we are. So we're a few weeks behind, but hey, it's there on Patreon. Patreon.com/weeklybazaar.
So I'm excited to get back into this one.
Have you been thinking about it?
Yeah.
Part 2, Bobby Mackey's Music World. Let's go.
Let's hit it.
So in the first episode, we know that basically something took over Carl. They did the exorcism at the bar. And I want to edit, I think the first episode I said what happened in the bar for like the next 4 years, I think I said. I meant to say the next 4 hours. So the exorcism took 4 hours.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a mom, guys. I'm tired. So yeah, the exorcism took 4 hours. So we know what the priest, what he wrote in his journal. What else? We know the ending of what happened with Carl, but we don't know the ending. This is why there's a part 2 of what else happened after Carl.
Yeah, because like I said in the last episode, I thought that you were done. I'm like, wow, there's more? Okay.
No. I wish. And Instagram, well, I guess all our social medias, I asked the question if anyone's heard of it because I've never heard of it. And then a lot of people are like, yeah, I've seen it on Ghost Adventures. Okay, I don't watch Ghost Adventures. So I don't know all the places he's been, what he's done, whatever. I don't watch Ghost Adventures. And I think it was like the first episode someone told me. I don't know. Okay. And remember that I said in the book, the source is still the same, Hellgate, The True Story of Bobby Mackey's Music World by Jeremy Bombosh. And I talked about how Jeremy went to Bobby Mackey's himself and he had a full-on conversation with Bobby Mackey, and there's a lot of what he said in the book. And then I'm going to start this again. I probably said it in the last episode, but I'm going to do the quote again, that what Bobby Mackey said about Carl. He said, quote, "I want to say that first because it gets lost in the story." Because he talked about how good of a bartender Jeremy was. The story turns him into a victim, into a case study, and he was a person first. He was good at his work, and he was good to the people around him, and what happened to him was not his fault, and was not something he could have prevented, and I have carried that for 45 years. In the early 1990s, this was before ghost hunting was a thing on TV. So before Ghost Adventures, it was less popular, right? The first serious investigator to document Bobby Mackey's music world with anything approaching scientific method was a man who the book referred to as R.H. So R.H., he was a retired electrical engineer from Cincinnati. Hey. Also,
the second reference from Cincinnati?
side quest for a second. I was watching Forensic Files, and it said that Cincinnati was the 6th largest city in the world, like the United States. I meant that's not accurate.
Really? No.
Like Columbus is bigger than Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Right? That does not seem right. And I didn't Google it, but I was like, that does not seem right.
It definitely does not seem right.
Anyway, so yes, he was from Cincinnati who had spent 30 years designing measurement systems for industrial applications. And he actually came across paranormal investigation through the specific backdoor of electromagnetic anomaly research. Say that 5 times fast. So he's not he's not a ghost hunter. Just want to put that out there. He's not a ghost hunter, or he had any interest in looking for spirits, but instead he was looking for measurable deviations from baseline environmental conditions that might explain why people reported unusual experiences in specific locations. So like, oh, you feel a cold spot here? This is why. Where you and I'd be like, it's a ghost.
He's a man of science.
Yes, he is a man of science. He's probably related to Christian. Who knows? That's a good way to put it. So he doesn't really believe in the whole ghost thing, which is perfect for someone to go in and do investigation not believing, I think.
I agree. Like we were talking in my last episode, 0 expectations, I think is a good thing.
Yes, and especially before it was popular. It wasn't so popular in the early 90s.
Yeah.
So on a Saturday night in October of 1991, he brought his equipment to Bobby Mackey's. He not only left with data, but he spent 2 years trying to explain it.
Okay, man of science, okay.
So what he did was establish baseline readings throughout the building. So like electromagnetic field levels, temperature gradients, air pressure, infrasound frequencies below the threshold of human hearing. So, all the fun stuff. He mapped the building systematically. So he went room by room and he took readings at consistent intervals and he recorded the data. And as you can guess, the baseline readings were meh upstairs. Meh. That's how they referred to in the book. The readings were meh, but the basement was not meh. So RH, he notes in his log that he stopped at the basement door for longer than his protocol required. The door was cold under his hand, and the cold had a direction he recognized from 30 years of working with equipment that measured things moving through materials. So as a man of science, he wrote, directional, source below. Next step, he takes his equipment into the basement. And this is a direct quote from the book because I didn't really know how to change this up or break it down. So here we go. Quote, the electromagnetic field directly in front of the basement door measured consistently at levels that RH later described in his notes technically inexplicable given the building's electrical infrastructure. He had mapped the building's wiring. He knew where every circuit ran. The field he was measuring near the basement door could not be accounted for by any electrical source he could identify in the building systems. It was too strong, too localized, and oriented in a direction downward that no conventional electrical source produces. End quote.
Creepy.
So very science. I didn't know how to break that down. I am not a woman of science.
Well, just the fact that it can't be explained is creepy enough.
Mm-hmm. And infrasound frequencies below 20 Hz is below the threshold of what humans can hear. And this has actually been studied since the 1980s, and it's a possible explanation for reported paranormal experiences. So, like, the theory was that certain infrasound frequencies could produce in people symptoms that we attribute to supernatural encounters. So, meaning like feelings of unease, dread, the sense of a presence, things like that. And the frequency that produced the most consistent effects in people was approximately 18.98 Hz. So this frequency that resonated with the human eye and could produce visual disturbances and produce a sensation of pressure, of heaviness, of something bearing down. So our H infrasound meter, which was 6 inches from the concrete cap of the wall, it recorded 18.97 Hz. RH sat in the basement for 4 hours that night. I think it's also kind of funny the exorcism took place over 4 hours. I'm just saying. But during those 4 hours, he was monitoring his instruments and taking readings. And at the end of the night, he wrote in his notes, quote, "Something is generating this from below the concrete, and the concrete is not the floor." End quote.
Nope.
So he did this for 3 years. He would visit the basement of Bobby Mackey's for 3 years. He'd come and go. And so on his third visit, this time, he brought a thermal imaging camera. And it did produce an image over the well, and he's actually kept that image for 20 years.
Did you see it?
No, it wasn't in the book. I don't know if it's online. I could have checked, but I didn't. So the basement floor was blue-green, and directly above was like a deep blue shading to purple type of shading at the center. So this means that this didn't indicate it was a cold temperature, but the camera couldn't actually find the floor. So RH writes in his notes, "The camera is reading an absence rather than a presence. Whatever is below the concrete is not producing cold. It is consuming heat. There is a difference, and the difference matters, and I don't have the physics for it."
That keeps going along with the theory of it feeds off of things.
Like it's taking the heat from it or something. So he steps up his game. I mean, if you think about it, it is. So he steps up his game. So then he brings EVPs. And like most paranormal investigations, he wasn't trying to record voices, but rather more for like background noise, like the background noise levels. It's like an acoustic profile of the space, but he recorded something. And remember when I told you to remember the time that Carl Lawson went into the basement at 2:17? That's the time he wrote down when the recording happened, was 2:17 a.m. The exact same time that Carl Lawson went into the basement.
I wonder if there is a significance there for that specific time. Like, is that when, what was the girl's name?
Pearl, maybe that's when she was murdered, you think?
Yeah, something like that, maybe.
I think there is something attached to that specific time, yes.
Definitely.
Well, and here's why. So on his recording, there was a female voice. And it said, "Let it go, hungry."
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And RH had 2 different transcribers come up with the same saying, not knowing what they were listening to. So they both listened to it on their own, came up with the exact same thing.
So Pearl is definitely trying to help.
Yes. And in 2008, so Jeremy, the author of the book, he actually spoke to RH on the phone. And at this point, RH was retired from investigating because he's 81 years old at this point. So Jeremy asks him, and he was like, "Hey, what do you think is in the well?" And then RH says, quote, "I don't think what's in that well belongs to any class of things we have a name for. I think it predates our naming. I think our measuring instruments can detect its effects the way a thermometer can detect the effects of fire without having any concept of fire. End quote. So Jeremy's like, okay, well, what would you call it then? And RH says, I would call it old, and I would leave it at that because everything else I might call it is a word that belongs to a framework that the thing predates and therefore it doesn't apply. I would call it hungry, I would call it patient, and I would call it still there.
This is reminding me of, I can't remember what it was, what the name of it was, but it was on Mass Effect, one of the video games I played, and on one of the planets there was something kind of like this. It wasn't a spirit, but it was like a plant that was alive and it fed off of anything that got near it, and it was like under the ground, and they had to destroy it in order for people to stop dying and for the planet to be habitable because the energy was just too strong. It's making me think of that. I can't remember what it was called though.
That makes me think of
Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little shop.
Old school. Because the plant eats people, right? That's what he does. It grows
Yeah.
bigger and bigger. It's been a long
Yeah.
time since I've seen it.
I wonder if that's where they got that concept, because the first Mass Effect game, there were three of them, and the first one's pretty old. I don't remember when it came out exactly, but I
So
wonder if
Little
that's where they
Shop
got
of
that.
Horrors, like the original one.
Yeah.
Maybe. But
But
I
it
think
had
it's
like it had that magnetic kind of pulsing sensation and
like the
the
vibration.
vibration of it. Yeah. So that's what I'm
Interesting.
imagining, just on maybe a lesser level. Like you couldn't perceive it quite as much, maybe.
Well, I think it's funny that multiple people in the story have said they think it's old. It's like it comes to them. It's like it tells them that it's old and it's patient. And they all say similar stuff, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah, that makes me second guess the whole 217 thing being when Pearl died, because if it's older than even her, then maybe it's not when she died. Or
But
maybe
that was
it
when the female
is.
voice, yeah, that's when the female voice came on. So maybe that time,
Okay,
and maybe when Carl went to the basement at that time, she was trying to prevent him. I don't know.
could be.
I have no idea. I will say after, last episode, we have sent a lot of coral memes to each other. Can't resist.
Coral. Can't.
I'm
Fucking right.
going to the basement, Coral. So now I'm going to talk about other people who have experienced things themselves from the well. And these stories have actually been quieter than Carl's because Carl refused for his story to die, right? So in 1974, 4 years before before Bobby Mackey, before he bought it, it was briefly a nightclub that I talked about in the first episode. So a woman who worked the coat check told her manager that she had experienced on 3 closing nights in a row the sensation of a hand on her shoulder in the empty building after everyone had gone. And the hand, which she described as warm, would put their hand on her left shoulder and would turn her gently but with clear intention, like away from the direction of the basement stairs.
I just saw an orb fly in front of you.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
It
see.
was
Oh,
in
I
the
was,
bottom right corner of your. So it was by your left shoulder. Did you
shut
literally
up.
just say that's the shoulder she got touched on, or was it her
Yeah, her
right?
left shoulder. No, it was her left shoulder.
Ew. We'll see it
Yes.
on when we edit.
Okay, I have to go back and edit. And that's funny because I lost my earbud at the same time. It fell out of my
What?
ear.
Oh my god.
I don't
Maybe
know where
that's
it's
what it
at.
was. Maybe that's what it was. I saw the
There's a
earbud
difference
fall.
between an orb and a white headphone. Come on now.
Yeah, but my connection's bad. When we go back to edit, we'll be like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot.
I guess
We'll
we'll have to
see.
pay attention. Yeah. Still creepy. I mean, it's funny that my left headphone came out the same time I said left shoulder. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, that timing was weird. It was bizarre.
Yeah, and my headphone's missing. So we're going to just improvise and go with one headphone. Okay. So after the third time this happened to her, she quit. She's like, bah, I'm out.
I would be too.
And she told the manager it wasn't the sensation that frightened her, but it was the warmth of it. It felt, she said, like someone was trying to protect her from something behind her that she wasn't supposed to see. She told the manager that she believed it was Pearl Bryan.
Sounds like it. Good old Pearl.
So the manager, just like gets out his pen and paper and he writes this in a memo. He put this memo in a box, and the box ended up in an archive. And Jeremy visited the archive and got the woman's name from that memo. So he ends up calling her. She was 83 at the time the book was written, and I think the book was actually 2025 or 2026. It's like brand new, updated, yeah. And he tells her, hey, I'm writing a book. And she says, I always knew someone would write it eventually. I just didn't think I would be alive to see it. So that's kind of cute, actually.
It is. That probably made her freaking day, not to mention probably her life, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably little old people don't have a whole lot to look forward to.
So
That
the
was
second,
depressing. Sorry. Leave
that's why
it
I
to
didn't say
me.
anything. This isn't your episode. Your episodes are depressing. Get out of here.
Like yours isn't. The chick was killed and decapitated, but mine
That
are
was way in
depressing.
the
Okay.
beginning. That was way in the beginning. And that was like a glimpse over. Yours is like, keeps going.
Oh, just wait.
No, I'm
I'm
just
not
joking.
done yet.
I don't want to make light of Pearl's death because it was horrible.
It was.
All right, so the second person, he was a musician. Hey, your type. Who knew? Even more your type. He played lead guitar in a band that regularly played at Bobby Mackey's in the mid 1980s.
I was actually more partial to drummers back in the day.
Me too. It was 3 nights a week for 14 months, which meant this guy was at the building a lot. He was 26 years old and he started and he was 28 when it ended. He told Jeremy that these 2 years changed him, that he is still 4 decades later in the process of understanding. So with him, it began with dreams, and he would have the same dream 3 to 4 times a week throughout those 14 months that he was at Bobby Mackey's, and even 6 months after he left Bobby Mackey's. So in his dream, he was in the basement and the concrete cap of the well was open, and he would look down into it and then something would look back up.
No.
But not with eyes. He said it looked the way gravity looks, not with any visible apparatus, but with an orientation, a direction, an unmistakable attention directed upward toward the thing at the surface, which was him. And when he would wake up after these dreams, he said he would feel heavy, like something was placed on him during the dream and wasn't fully removed, even when the dream ended.
Which is how the guy RH described the energy. It's like heavy and bearing down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't catch that. Yeah. I mean, he went to a therapist. The therapist was like, bruh, it's just stress. You're fine. He went to a doctor. The doctor didn't say anything. He's like, bro, you're fine.
Useless.
Yeah. So in 1987, he said, fuck this, and he moved to Nashville.
Did he make it big?
I don't know.
Nashville?
They didn't give names. These people didn't want to give their names. So maybe. Could be. I don't know. So Jeremy later asked him if the heaviness ever lifted. And basically he said, mostly it's like, which just creeps me out. This is what he says. And I don't know why, but it does. It's like his name is on a list somewhere that he didn't sign and it can't be removed. The third person, we're going to call her Sarah. And Jeremy said that this case actually affected him the most, which I would die if this happened to me. I'm just going to throw that out there. Sounds horrible. So she started working at Bobby Mackey's in 1993. So a year before Carl fired his lawsuit. She was 24 years old and she worked there for 8 months. And all the stuff that we have talked about so far, nothing like that happened to her. But her problem was she started to forget things. And like I'm talking specific things, like the names of people that were close to her, the drive home from places she had driven hundreds of times, even words, like literally basic vocabulary.
I can relate.
Dude, the other day, I was like, how the heck do you spell closet? I could not think how to spell closet for the life of me.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm doing research and I'll type a word out and look at it and I'm like, that cannot be how that's spelled. So I have to double check it to make sure that it's right. It's so weird.
Hopefully it wasn't closet.
It's not closet.
Hopefully it was something harder than that.
It probably wasn't. Let's be real. Probably wasn't.
Well, she even went to a neurologist, and the neurologist was like, "Okay, nothing's wrong with you." She even
Bunch of
got to the
useless doctors, in my opinion.
but if there's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong. You know what I mean?
Where's the curiosity, you know?
I'm a
That's the kind of
neurologist.
doctor I'm looking for.
For a man of science, there's nothing wrong with you. Which obviously, if you were Sarah and you'd be like, listen, guy, I don't even know my name. Like, I don't even know my friend's name.
I don't know
I
how to
don't know
get
how to drive
home.
back to work. Yeah, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
But she did get to the point where she was writing her own name on her hand before her shifts at work.
Oh my God.
So after 8 months, she's like, I'm out. I'm surprised it took her 8 months, to be honest. It would take me like, I don't even know.
Yeah. I wonder if the longer she stayed, the more her memory would fail.
That's a good point. I mean, so after 2 weeks of leaving the bar, everything came back.
Yeah, she must have been highly sensitive for that to affect her on that level.
She told Jeremy it was like something was eating my words. I know how that sounds. I'm a practical person, but it was eating my words and I needed them back.
Feeding once again.
Okay, so now we have a bouncer. Shout out Tony.
I told him what you said.
Was he mad? Excuse me.
He was
Excuse me.
he was actually very passive about it.
See?
It's just like maybe she's not wrong. But yeah, he didn't really have
You
much
also
to
said he
say.
was you also said he was barking out the window the other day. That's how he deals with confrontation is he barks at people.
God, that was a whole ordeal. Forgot about
We'll save that for
Patreon.
Patreon. So yeah, there was a bouncer. He worked in the building in 1989. He began sleepwalking, but specifically and repeatedly to his own front door. So he would stand in front of it with his hand on the knob and his eyes open and his face wearing the expression of a man who is going somewhere he believes he needs to be.
Have you ever seen somebody sleepwalk?
No, thank God.
It is the creepiest shit. I've seen
You
it a
have?
couple different times. Oh yeah. Well, the first time was hilarious because we were partying at my house. This was before I met Tony, and I had the party house, and this
The
guy I knew
haunted
had a.
party house.
It was actually a different house. It was after that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was actually the house I met Tony in. But one of my guy friends had a bunch of his friends from out of town over, so I hadn't met them before and they needed a place to crash. So I'm like, yeah, just stay at my house. And in the middle of the night, we're still all up and partying. And one of his friends had gotten so drunk that he was like passed out upstairs. And we hear this commotion upstairs and we're like, what is he doing? So we all walk to the bottom of the stairs and look up, and he's got his dick out and he's peeing down the stairs. And he was completely asleep. Like, he was totally sleepwalking. He had no idea that he was doing that. And we thought he was probably going to fall down the stairs. So Zach, the guy that was my friend at the time, had to go up and like wake him up. And he came to, and it's so weird to see somebody sleepwalking.
I
Like,
thought you're not supposed to wake
woken
them
up.
up.
I don't think you are, but it was for his own safety.
And
So
he was
it's
peeing
weird
on
though.
stuff.
And it was peeing, yeah. And then the second time was Kyler, my nephew. And it runs in his family. His uncle was a really bad sleepwalker. And my sister has some stories about that when she used to stay with Kyler's dad when they were dating and younger. Kyler inherited it. And I was staying with my sister one night and I was out on the couch, and all of a sudden I hear Kyler getting up, and I look over and he's just walking over into the kitchen. I'm like, what is he doing? Maybe he's just getting a snack or a drink of water or something. And all of a sudden I hear peeing. He was peeing in the trash can in the bathroom or in the kitchen. And then he came out of the kitchen and was walking towards me and just sat down right next to me. It was just sitting there. I'm like, but I knew that I wasn't supposed to wake him up because Michelle even specifically said, don't wake him up because he will get violent because he doesn't know what's going on. He was pretty young at the time. I'd say he was like maybe 10, maybe 9. I'm not sure. Maybe even a little younger. So I'm like, hello.
This is awkward.
Like, Kyler, hello. And he was just sitting there, like looking straight ahead. So I was freaked the hell out. I got up and went and got Michelle. I'm like, Kyler's just sitting in there. I'm scared. So she got up and went and woke him up. But it's just weird to see because it looks like they're awake, but you can tell when
Yeah.
they're actually waking up. Like the look in their eyes changes. It's very strange.
Makes me think
Anyway,
of
that's my
Step
side quest.
Brothers. Makes me think of Step Brothers,
Have
where
I
they
seen
both
those?
sleepwalk and they put like pillows in the oven and stuff.
I don't think I've seen that. Surprise, surprise.
I remember I used to have so much parties at this house. We used to be the party house too. And my friend got so blacked out drunk, he went outside, opened his car door, and pissed on the inside of his car door.
That must be a thing. To pee. That is so weird.
He also did a backflip and like Bentley, my dog, walked by at the same time, so he almost killed him and himself. It was
Was he asleep?
no, he was just that
Oh,
gone. No.
jeez.
I mean, he could have been asleep, blacked out. I don't know, but yeah, he went outside and then his girlfriend at the time was like, "I think he's pissing on his car," and he was. So
We would have had so much fun back in the day if we knew each other.
you have no idea.
You don't have any idea either, girl. We'd have been shaking our booties till the break of dawn.
Now we're old crones.
Yep. Now I
An
just shake
old
my
crone
fist. Damn you! Get off my
shaking your
lawn.
fist at the people shaking their butts at parties. Okay.
Sad.
I don't even know where I was. So yeah, he would stand in front of his door with his hand on the knob like he had somewhere to be. So his wife was like, "Oh, hell no." So she started locking the front door from the inside with a deadbolt that you can only open it with a key. He lasted 3 months before he quit. And then a week after he quit, the sleepwalking stopped. In the early 2000s,
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm wondering, like, do all these people clearly they understand that whatever's happening to them is probably related to this place because they keep quitting, right? Like, do they
I think
know
so
the
because it's like,
history?
okay, I think they would have at this point know the history, especially because he had the sign up when he bought it, right? Did he put the sign up when he bought it? I don't remember. But I feel like even if
I
they
think
didn't
so.
know the history, it's like, okay, what's the common denominator? What's the only thing that's changed?
Hmm.
Getting this job, right?
Yeah, wild.
But yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if they know the history or not. Well, at least with the musician, he was having dreams about the well. Like he was having dreams about the place. So I feel like he spent a lot of time there. So he probably heard the rumors and knew stuff about it, is my guess. I mean, hell, he moved all the way to Nashville.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
So in the early 2000s, there was a cook who worked in the kitchen and he began hearing music on his shifts that nobody else could hear. And he said it was like a different type of music, older, in a key that he described as wrong, almost like it was music that predated the organization of sound.
Oh, so like the music I make.
Exactly. Even though I tell you to do more with your music, but what do I know? He decided to record it with his phone, and the recording captured nothing, only silence.
Go
So,
figure.
yeah, needless to say, he quit, and he has not been able to listen to music the same since.
Interesting. Wonder why. Was it just
Because he can't,
always
like, when he
remind him?
does, yeah, that's what he thinks of.
Shitty.
Hmm. There's just so many more stories. There's a lot of stories. If you want more, go read the book. So the biggest question is why did Bobby Mackey stay? And to make a very long story short, like I said, you have to go through the dialogue between Jeremy and Bobby Mackey. But to sum it up, he said it just felt right.
It just felt right. So he likes the shit.
He does. Remember, signed the lease before he even did a tour of the whole entire place.
He's a freak. He likes this shit. Bobby, you a freak.
Well, think about it now. Okay, so back then, I think when like the exorcism and all that stuff happened, that was still a time where it wasn't popular, right? It was before Ghost Adventures and all these ghost, paranormal, social media stuff. But now it's like, okay, this is going to bring in a bunch of business after all these years.
Yeah.
But after nearly half a century of operations, Bobby Mackey and his wife Denise were forced to permanently close the original location in March 2024 after engineers deemed the dilapidated structure too expensive to salvage.
So he would have stayed otherwise.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he would. Half the building could be like falling apart, and he could be like, we're still open for business, guys."
I would have guessed before I knew any of this that it just got to be too much with how it was affecting people, but he didn't give two shits.
I mean, if you kind of go back into it, no, he doesn't. Like, he says he cared for Carl a lot and he wasn't mad about the lawsuit and stuff like that. But then again, it's like, okay, we have a big sign up that says, "Warning, we're haunted. Enter at your own risk." That's going to cause people to do investigations at your place. That's going to cause people to go in because they're curious.
Yeah.
So
It's
he's
good
kind of,
strategy.
yeah, I was going to say, he's kind of smart about it.
Mm-hmm.
Good for business, like I said, until they were forced to close. And the building was actually demolished in December 2024, but the owners preserved key historical pieces of the club. And they plan to incorporate the basement well and the famous water stained wall into a brand new facility built on the original grounds.
I didn't realize it was demolished so recently. Isn't that the
Yeah.
same year that Willow's Weep was demolished in 2024?
I don't remember that, was
I
it?
can't remember exactly. I think it was. I could be wrong, but I think it was.
And I think at the museum, Zach Bagans, he has the floor, like the dance floor. I don't want to say it's the whole dance floor because it's kind of small, but he has the original dance floor and maybe some of the bar stools. Don't quote me on that, but he does have some original pieces, and that's why he has the exhibit basically. So it's cool. I can say, yeah, I've been on the dance floor at Bobby Mackey's, but
I wonder if, not to keep bringing up Willow's Weep, but I think you had asked if he went there or not. And
yeah, I
clearly
did.
he didn't have anything from there, did he? In his museum?
No, because that's a new story to me. I've never heard that.
I wonder if he didn't believe that it was actually haunted because I have seen a lot of videos pop up, especially after, I was researching it and whatnot, that it was all a hoax, which, I don't know. I don't believe that for a second, but I wonder if he thought that. Anyway, side quest city over here.
I mean, that had to be a pretty big hoax for that guy to buy it and do his own investigations there. That's
For
pretty big
years.
hoax. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, two, you have to realize that I've been there twice to the museum and he rotates things out and in because there were different exhibits I haven't seen before. So I think he does that too. So like that, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I'll
I'm
have to
gonna
look and
guess
see.
if he hasn't investigated it, he probably won't have anything that has meaning to him. Where you're like, oh, that's haunted. I'm gonna grab this. I was gonna say it's like Zach. Like I could be like, hey, this glass is haunted, and he'll be like, I want that glass. So,
Yeah, that's why I'm really surprised he didn't go there.
but again, I think that it's not Bobby Mackey's that's haunted. It's what's underneath. So I
Yeah.
think that when he moves his thing to a new facility, it's not gonna be like it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the same shit was going on in Willow's Weep. It wasn't the house itself, and I feel like that's probably the case most of the time unless something really tragic has happened in a house or something like that, but I don't know. It just seems very common that it's more so the history of the land is affecting whatever you build on it.
I mean, look at Poltergeist, right? They wanted to build a new neighborhood, so what they did was it was a graveyard, but they just removed the gravestones but left the bodies
Bad
there.
idea.
So I think we get quite a lot of that. I don't think that's far-fetched at all.
Mm-hmm.
They saw the opportunity, they took it. Hey, neighborhood moves in, we get rich off these new buildings. Let's just move the tombstones out of the way, but the graves, no one will know.
I was watching something the other day. It was in England, so it's even, I mean, maybe not even older because Native Americans have been around a long time too. But there was essentially a whole graveyard in a neighborhood clearing area that had bodies everywhere, but they weren't marked. So that could be happening way more than we could even imagine.
I have no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all she wrote. That's the story of Bobby Mackey's music world.
Do they still let people go to the site?
It's a good question. I don't know, because if they had it permanently close a location, it might be one of those like, because it's too dilapidated that
So
it's
it's
too
been
dangerous.
condemned.
Yeah. Doesn't mean it stops people from doing it. Probably like this building is dangerous. They have to put the sign up, whatever, but people are still going to go. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. That's a really good question. But I feel like if there's new locations up, he'd be like, hey, you can do ghost hunting here. But I don't think it's the same thing at all.
How old is he now, Bobby?
I can tell you that. Let me see.
It's still up and running though, like his new place.
I'll have to look that up. No, I went back to pinup names.
Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl.
Yes, we were talking about pinup names before we got on the podcast.
And that probably isn't right, is it? The Lola.
I couldn't tell you.
I'll have to ask Tony. He'll know. He knows like every song that there ever was.
Okay, so Bobby Mackey was born on March 25th, 1948. So as of today, we record this July 8th. He is 78 years old. He's still active in music, having continued to release new songs in recent years while remaining closely associated with the legacy of Bobby Mackey's music world. Let's see, did he
Still going
open
strong.
his new location? Okay, so did he open his new location? It says yes and no. The temporary location is open. Bobby Mackey opened a temporary avenue in Florence, Kentucky in March of 2024 after leaving the original building in Wilder.
It's
The
my
temporary
sister's dog's name.
location, well, it's Wilder. To me, it
Yeah,
looks
it could
Wilder.
go either way.
The temporary location has been operating while the original haunted building was demolished, like I said, and the rebuilt location on the original property is not open yet. So I think it sounds like they're rebuilding it on top. Yeah, you got the money, why not? Because he wants to keep it haunted. I'm telling you, that's what's good for business.
Yeah.
So if you want the address, it is 44 Licking Pike in Wilder. And as of the latest reports in 2026, reconstruction has begun, but the new building has not been open to the public.
Yeah, that's crazy that he's going all in back on the same land. But it makes sense. It's smart business.
It's good for business. Yeah, exactly. You got the money, be like, okay, well, that building didn't work. Let's just build another one. Especially, I'm Bobby Mackey. I'm 78. I'm still doing music. I ain't stopping anytime soon. Let's go.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us again for another episode. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. You can find us on all the social medias at Weekly Bazaar Podcast. You can email us if you have any stories you'd like us to share. weeklybazaarpodcast@gmail.com. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/weeklybazaar. We do blooper reels there. We do some chit chats, some hangouts. So if that sounds like something you're interested in and would like to further support us, you can do that over there. We truly appreciate it.
Stay spooky, stay safe.
Take care of yourselves and each other, and we will see you in a week. If it's weird,
we're going to talk about it.
bye.
Bye. I'm laughing at your spirit fingers.